Hello healers and health seekers. It's me, Ichoda, healing multiple chronic illnesses using medical medium information for 32 months now. That's my cat Pendleton. If you want to know more about the illnesses I'm healing and what has healed and all of that good stuff, more about me and my journey, it's in the link in the description box below. But today, it's time for What's Up Wednesday. And that's when I come here, I make a video about my healing journey and my progress and just what's going on with me. So first, I just want to ask you all, how you doing with winter? Is anyone else struggling? Is anyone else just like, I have had enough of winter already? Are you in a cold state where you have blankets of snow on the ground like I am? Are you in a state where it rains a lot? How are you doing? The struggle is real. I'm going to tell you guys, the struggle is real. You know it. You know it. If you're watching this video and you're somewhere that it's winter, I'm pretty sure you know the struggle is real. For heaven's sakes. Enough winter already. I am so ready for spring. Spring is coming, and that's what I want to talk about. Oh, I can't get my words together today. This is why people write notes for their videos, but I don't do that. I'm just like, I'll freelance it. We'll see what happens. Usually what happens is me editing a lot of stuff out of my videos because I ramble. Okay, you may hear Muffins in the background. She is my pug. She is snorkeling around, but she likes to be in with me. You may hear my son in the background playing a game online with his friends in a very animated fashion. He's quite loud. I'm not going to be able to edit out all his stuff, and it's fine. I don't have a soundproof area in my house. It's just my apartment, whatever. Sorry. Sorry for all of that. Just letting you know what all the noise is. And then you'll hear the space heater kick on because it's freezing outside. It's so cold. Actually, it's a little bit warmer today because the snow started to melt. Yay. Now, melt and go away, snow. Be done with you. I want the robins back. I want to see green outside. I am tired of looking at the white snow and the dull gray skies. I want the sunshine and the robins, and I want to hear sounds of spring. Although when that happens, we will be leaving. So, but we will get to enjoy spring somewhere else, and that's fine too. So, let me tell you what winter's doing to me. Okay, now remember healers and health seekers, winter depresses the liver function a bit and your immune system goes down. So it's an extra fight to keep everything rocking and rolling and going, and then you don't get the sunlight and you don't get to go outside and you don't get the fresh air. And it also affects your immune system, and it also affects your state of mind, that's for darn sure. I have been cooped up in this apartment way too long, unable to go outside because of the frigid temperatures. And I know that there are people that are fine and can go outside in frigid temperatures. I just happen to have a very sensitive nervous system, and extreme temperatures are very hard on it still. And we're working on it. That is part of the healing process. It won't always be that way, but right now, that's how it is. So I choose to stay inside, but I'm not sure that's better, to be honest. I'm really not. So what does that look like for me? What does that translate into? Well, I'll tell you what it translates into. More symptoms, which I know is happening for everybody right now. I get messages from people on social media and even my YouTube videos saying, I'm really having a hard time. I'm struggling. I see when I go into the healing groups on Facebook, I see people saying, I just can't do this anymore. I'm struggling. This is too hard. And I know what they mean. And I know that sometimes people don't realize that it's like, it's winter though. It's going to pass. I promise you spring is coming, even though right now is hard. February is just always the hardest month. It's going to pass. Spring is coming and you will feel better again, and you will get relief from the symptoms that are flaring again. I promise. My symptoms that are flaring, remember I think I said in the last video, I was like, oh, you know, my plantar fasciitis is feeling so much better. I think it's gone. And the winter said, I laugh in your general direction because it is not gone. It is worse than ever and it hurts. Like, it hurts. And I feel like I have no energy and I feel sleepy all the time, but somehow I still just stood in the kitchen from like the time I got up today until several hours later. I can't math right now. My brain's asleep, but that part of my brain's asleep. But probably 5 or 6 hours I've been in there just nonstop, and I made this big old stew, with like, I got this idea in my head that I wanted to make a Brussels sprout soup, and I was like, does that exist? Like, somebody's got a recipe that I can look up and try and see? And lo and behold, I found 3 recipes that all sounded pretty good to me. But I decided to go with the first one because it had lentils, and my son likes lentils. Like, he'll eat lentil soup, so I thought, this is a good hearty soup, hopefully. We'll see if he will eat this. And if he doesn't, that's fine. My husband will eat it, and hopefully I will. We'll see how it tastes. My husband is usually willing to eat anything. My son is the least likely to eat anything, but often surprises us. And I will eat things if they taste good. And I like my cooking, but this isn't my recipe, so we'll see what happens. For example, the recipe called for like adobo sauce, which I was like, I don't know what that is. So I looked it up. I looked up a recipe for adobo sauce, and I was like, oh, it's basically chipotle peppers mixed with seasonings. And I don't like things too spicy, so I just did I did all the seasonings and some tomato paste and chipotle powder. I mean, we'll see. It's all kind of like, that's not exactly how it works, but I'm making approximations, and anyway. I mostly followed the recipe. It's just that I didn't have anything in adobo sauce. And I probably used a different kind of chili pepper than it called for. But anyway, we'll see how it turns out. I talked too long about that. My point being that I was in the kitchen all morning. I'm so tired, but somehow I'm still like standing up and cooking food and cooking more food because my son wanted Savrage's awesome Foods in My Kitchen wraps. So I keep making those wraps. I made some wraps for him. I'd already looked up the recipe for the Brussels sprout soup, and I was like, I'll just make that because it takes a while for, like, I have to cook the wraps, and I have to cook a few of them because we only have the tiny pan. And it just takes a while, so I'm like, well, while I'm standing in here in the kitchen anyway, Anyway, so I was able to do it, and I made my morning chaga that I've been making sure to have every day. And I'm so tired. Like, I really could just take a nap. And that's the thing about winter. Like, all winter, I'm just like increasingly more and more to the point where I'm just like, all I want to do is take a nap every day. And I don't get the opportunity to take a nap every day. I don't take the opportunity to take a nap every day, but I'm tired every day, like I could. And I'm just so tired. I just get more and more tired. And when I get tired, I'm not as good at food choices. Like, I'm more like just what's easy. Now, all of this is within the context of healing foods and foods that are okay to eat. Medical Medium, when he talks on his radio shows and he does his lives, and he likes to say, like, I don't have a protocol, but it's a convenient word to use when you say, like, if I'm trying to talk about Medical Medium foods or approved foods or foods that are healing foods, the foods that he says are healing and support our health, it's all within that context. There's nothing, I don't eat anything ever on the, foods that feed pathogens. I don't eat anything like that. And definitely my body lets me know, like, some foods are so much more supportive to my body, like raw foods and no fats. My body doesn't want any fat. And I ate fat yesterday, and I might have eaten the day before. I probably did. I don't even know. I'm so tired I don't even know. But whenever I eat fat, it's just like, you thought you were tired before. It's like my liver goes on strike, and it's just like, no, keep fats out. Like, here's the sign. It's like holding the sign, keep fats out. No fats now. Did I mention that I'm tired? I'm so tired. Yeah, so I did that. Here's what happens. I'm so tired, And then my son says, hey, will you make me this food? And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I make him the food, and I'm hungry and I'm tired. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll just have whatever. Like, I'm just going to have this. This is what he's having, so I'll have this. And it's not always the best choice for me. Like, it's fine for him. It doesn't take his energy down. But I have a really sensitive nervous system, and my body is very particular. And if I want to have energy, then I need to just eat fruits and greens. Like, that's how my body rolls, you know. Probably maybe I can eat steamed vegetables, but really, honestly, I mean, my body... Ideally for me, it would be raw foods. And probably if you want to take it a step further, you could go juice in the morning and then smoothies in the middle of the day and then salads in the evening, because those are like the bigger, denser meals. And you could do like that, and then if you really needed to at the very end of the day, have like some steamed veggies. And that's like the sequence I would do. But right now I'm just too tired to do all that. Because it all takes preparation, and after I've already prepared all the food for my son, I'm like, I'm just too tired. I'll just eat a wrap, you know. I'll just eat what I'm cooking for him because it's faster. I don't know why I don't just grab a piece of fruit and wrap it in a lettuce leaf. That would also be just as fast, Ichota. You're not fooling anybody, Ichota. I'm on to you. Anyway, I should look in the viewfinder, because you're the audience. That's me right there. In the viewfinder. I'm on to you, Ichota. I'm on to you. You're not fooling anybody. You just need to tell your brain to eat fruit wrapped in lettuce instead of what you're doing, because it's not working for you, is it? It's not working for you. Anyway, I'm so just deliriously tired. When I watch this later, when I edit it, I'm probably going to be like, oh my, what is going on with me? Because I'm loopy from the tired. And it's winter. I know part of it is winter. A big part of it is winter, right? I don't ever feel like I have enough sleep, and my sleep is weird and interrupted, and I don't know. And then I'm like also not taking my supplements all the time when I should. I do take, hey, let me acknowledge, credit where credit's due or whatever. I do take my tinctures every morning. I take my liquids, my B12, my zinc, my tinctures, because my morning is like, it's set. Like, it's the same routine every single day. I don't vary. The only variance I might have is, like, for example, today we were out of cilantro, so I had, instead of the heavy metal detox smoothie, I had a liver rescue smoothie. But that's the only variance. Like, it's not going to change, you know? So it's easy when I'm in that zone to take my tinctures and do that stuff. It's that later when I start, when I just kind of go into the rest of my day, for some reason I don't have that structure to the rest of my day, so it's more freeform and I forget to take my supplements. And I used to set alarms on my phone, but I just learned to ignore them, so whatever. I don't, I don't know. It's just, I blame winter. I'm blaming winter for everything, because why not? It's winter's fault. I'm so much better than this when it's not winter. Actually, that's kind of true, but holy hot mess, you guys. It's just, spring is coming. That's gonna be the title of this video. Remember how I said last week, or whenever the last time I was talking about this, is how my head goes spinning about. So I've made a decision, you know, like I made the decision, I made the plans, I have everything set in place, and then I just go into this panic. My brain's just like, oh, but are you sure we don't have total control over everything? And it's the unknown, and then it gets this fear spinning out. And every single time it's like, it'll happen, and then I'll get myself calmed down. I'll talk to somebody and I'll calm down and I'll be like, no, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. Just allow the process, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect like you think it does. And then I don't know what, I'll just go and like watch some video on YouTube about Colorado, and it'll be like the fracking, and I'm like, no fracking, and I just panic again, and I'm just spinning out. And does anybody else do that? Is anybody else like can't just be okay with a decision they made? And I talk to my husband, and he alternates between just being okay with me spinning out and like being totally triggered, and then he goes into a panic and like yells at me, and it's horrible. And I never know what I'm gonna get, but I'll still go to him and be like, I don't know, this is a good decision. And then when he's best case scenario, he will listen, be supportive, and say things like, if you feel like you want to explore another option, like let's explore another option. And then I will explore the option, and as I explore it, like report back to him with what I'm discovering and why it's really not a better option because XYZ, so many reasons. And he will then say, you know, I agree. I think Colorado is really a better choice anyway. It's better suited to our family. And then he'll list reasons. Best case scenario. And that's what he did yesterday. He went to best case scenario and he did that, and it was helpful. And I talked to a couple people, and it helped. You know, it just helps me to externally process things. Most of the time, that's what helps me. And then I calmed down again. And I was like, okay, we are going to go to Colorado. And then the universe will send me help too. The universe will give me little signals, like somebody will post something on Instagram that says, I don't remember. For example, Aquarius Nation, I follow her on Instagram and read her posts every day. And they are always so crazy spot on. Like what it said today is, today you're going to feel like so drained and you're going to be so tired. And then it said a bunch of other stuff that also totally applied. And I think somebody else posted something about there's like no wrong choice. You know, the choices you make are the choices you make, and the universe will sort of unfold around it to help it work out how it needs to or whatever. And whatever it said was perfect. Like the way it was worded, I was like, oh, like I was like, this was for me, I think. Calm down, Ichota. It's okay. Like just enjoy and that's what I want to do. I just want to enjoy. Okay, let the process unfold. Let's just stay the course, focus on the goal, get packing, get the details taken care of, finish up here, and be on our merry way. Like, let's just do that. Let's just focus on the journey now instead of trying to be like, maybe I made a bad choice and this is No, you just don't know. Like, there's no perfect place. Let me tell you something. I have talked to several people in the past few weeks, and they've either gone through a similar situation or are going through a similar situation. And we all come to the same conclusion, which is what I said, that Instagram post said earlier, which is whatever choice you make is fine. Like, there's no right choice and there's no wrong choice. And the other thing to know, it's just a matter of like accepting where you are, like the choice you've made. If you've made a certain choice, in my case, it's going to Colorado. Accept it. Go to Colorado. See what happens. Like, feel it out. Like, go. Do it, you know, instead of second guessing all the time. And the other part about that is, let me tell you something. If you're trying to research a totally safe place to live in the United States to avoid the most amount of toxins, there is no totally safe place. There are places where you can likely avoid toxins way more than other areas, and those places are like New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. I'm not sure about Maine. I think like Idaho. They're all cold places. They're all places with lots of blizzards. If you can cope with the snow and the blizzards, great. You know, then you probably will get a better air quality, a better water quality. But when you're traveling with a family and got a teenager, it's like there's all these, everybody's got their own set of needs. My husband's pretty fluid, but he has needs too. And so prioritizing what's important and what's going to work the best for us. And I kind of went off on a thing where I was like, oh, I should totally look for food security and like the longest growing season, which is basically California or Florida or Georgia or South Carolina, you know, southern states. I guess there's other ones in the middle too, but they just aren't on my radar. So it's like, it's either those. California's too expensive and there's no water. And then there's other stuff about the southern states that I think it would be kind of miserable for our particular family. And it works for other people, and I think that's awesome. And when I started like looking at houses, oh my gosh. Like if we lived in Florida, we could totally afford a house with a pool, and we could convert it to saltwater, which means we could swim in a pool. We all like being in a pool, and my son and I react to the chlorine in pools, so we can't go in pools. Like my son gets hives immediately if he goes in a pool, and I get itchy and hives too, actually. Like we both do. So it doesn't work for us. And also Anthony has talked about the chlorine in pools. It's bad, you know, and then you're also like in everybody else's ick, because the water, it's not like they change the water. They just dump more chemicals in to try to mitigate the grossness. Anyway, it'd be our own pool, and then even we could have muffins go swim in it, and that was really exciting. And I thought about that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that could be really cool, except for the climate is so hot that it's kind of unbearable for me and my son. And with a hot, muggy climate comes a lot of mosquitoes, and wherever there's a lot of mosquitoes, there's a lot of pesticides, because they dump pesticides from trucks. And I was just like, oh no, I can't do that. And I was like, I just can't. Anyway, it's just kind of like one thing after the other. I was like, no, we're gonna have to live in Colorado. We're just gonna have to figure it out in Colorado and see how it goes, and pray that it works. So my long-winded roundabout point is just hold on, because spring is coming, and just keep telling yourself, okay, it's just winter, this will pass, this is temporary, because it is temporary. And if you're struggling the way I'm struggling with the whole winter thing, you just try to look forward to spring and try to keep that in focus, and remember that like it's coming soon. It's not going to be that much longer, a couple of months, and I think we're in the clear in most places. Just hold on. We will get through this together. And hey, you know what? We all struggle. That's just a fact. Like there's just times that are harder than others, and winter is just a harder time than others. Like I just think for most people, if you are a person who can just swim through winter and just float through and have an awesome time the whole time and be thriving, oh my gosh, tell me your secrets. Because I want to be like you. And I think that's fantastic if you are a person like that, and I feel like you're probably like a unicorn butterfly kind of situation, because it's this very special thing, because I think most of us are like, oh, it's weird. Like it's never ending, especially in places like Wisconsin where it's like never ending. It just goes on for months and months. It's like 5 months winter, and that's too long for one season, unless it's spring. Why aren't fall and spring 5 months each, and then winter and summer are like 1 month apiece? Like where can I live that's like that? That's what I want. I feel that I've probably rambled enough. I don't know if I've made a point of anything or if I've said anything coherent even. I guess I'll find out when I edit the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, I grant you extra points. I don't know. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I love you guys so much. Please give a thumbs up below. You can subscribe to my channel by hitting that subscribe button, and you can ding the bell next to it if you want to be notified when I post a new video. Blessings on your continued healing journey, my healers and health seekers. Hang in there. Spring is coming. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Stay curious. Bye-bye.